Now we will learn how to file an ST36 sales tax return online. We will begin by locating the tax account number on the left. There are two different ways that you can access this account. You can either click on the sales tax account number, or you can scroll over to the right and click on Manage Account. I'm going to go ahead and click on Manage Account. The next screen shows us the tax account number, the business name, the account type, and the filing frequency. Right underneath that, we have the bank account information, and currently you will see we have no banking information on record. So we're going to go ahead and we want to add additional bank account information. We're going to click on Add. The first thing we're going to enter is the 9-digit bank routing number. This is the number that designates the bank that it's coming out of. We'll then go down and click where it says account number and type in the bank account number. And then we want to select an account type. If you click on the drop down arrow, you'll see that there's three different options: checking, savings, and ledger. We're going to go ahead and click on checking, and then we're going to click on save account. And it says this information has been added. It shows the name of the bank, the routing number, the last 4 digits of your bank account number, and the account type. If you needed to edit this, you'd click on Edit Bank Information. If you wanted to delete it, you could click on Delete Account over on the right, but we're going to go ahead and go over to the left and click on Back to Account. You'll now see that it is showing our banking information under the Bank Account Information section. It shows the name of the bank, the account type, and the last 4 digits of the account number. If you need to view this or remove the information, you can go ahead and click on View/Remove over to the right. If you needed to add more banking information, say you wanted to use one bank account one time and another one the next, you could go ahead and add another bank account to this list. We're going to go ahead and look at the account management down below. The first option says File a sales tax return. This includes the EFT payment option. The next option says Make an EFT payment. This is a payment only. This would be used if you'd already filed the return and forgot to make the payment. You can make the payment here. Next, we have View Account History. This is where you can view all of your online payments and filed returns. And then we have Manage Access to this account. This is where you could view or remove anyone who has access to this account. We're going to go ahead and click on File a Sales Tax Return. The next screen that comes up is an information page. It says Important. This information may impact your business. It is important for you to go ahead and read this information. Once you have read it, you may go to the bottom of the page and you can click on Don't Show this page again. You will also notice that it shows the upload instructions. If you're going to be uploading your jurisdiction codes into your return, it gives you the instructions on how to set up that spreadsheet to do so. And now we start filing the return. We go to the filing period and we select a month. It says choose a month. And then choose a year. Then we select a return type. We can choose original, amended, or additional. In this case, original is already marked. We're going to leave it there. Then we go down to Part 3 where it says Remember Prior Period Jurisdiction Codes. If you had already filed a return online and you had a list of jurisdiction codes that you use over and over and over again, the next time you file a return, if you want it to pull in the jurisdiction codes from the previous return, you will click on Remember Prior Period Jurisdiction Codes. Keep in mind you can always add more to the list, but it will at least bring in the ones that you were using on the tax period before. You can click on Upload Part 3. This is where you would build your Excel spreadsheet and pull the Excel spreadsheet into the return, or you can manually select jurisdiction codes. We're going to go ahead and just keep the Remember Prior Period Jurisdiction Codes listed. And then down below it says Zero-Based Reporting. If you had absolutely no sales activity for this period, you would click in this box and then click Continue. We're going to go ahead and click Continue. The next screen is Part 3. This is where we will enter our jurisdiction codes. If you had an Excel spreadsheet that you were going to be pulling in, you would click on the Upload and you would do a search for your file and select and bring it in. The next option is Add Jurisdiction. This is where we would manually select, so you can go ahead and click on Add Jurisdiction. And we have 3 different ways that we can look up our jurisdiction codes. You can click in this box and put in the jurisdiction code, the 5-letter code if you know it. The second box is jurisdiction name. You have to enter in at least the first 3 letters of the city or the county that you're looking for. Or you can click on Return All Jurisdictions. I'm going to go ahead and start by clicking on Return All Jurisdictions. And then we click on Look Up Jurisdiction. This will pull up the entire list of jurisdiction codes that the state of Kansas has. They will be listed in alphabetical order by city and county. It will list the tax rate over to the right. It will show the date that that rate was effective. And over to the left, there is a select box. So you could scroll down through this entire list and you could select the jurisdiction codes that you wanted to enter. I'm going to go ahead and select a couple of them. And then if we go all the way to the bottom, we're going to click on Add Selected. And you will see that it pulled in the jurisdiction codes that I selected. Now, if I had another jurisdiction code that I wanted to add, I could go ahead and click on Add Jurisdiction. And let's say I wanted to just look it up by its 5-letter code. I would click in that box, type in the 5-letter code, click on Look Up Jurisdiction. It populates in the jurisdiction code, the name, the effective date, and the tax rate. If this is the one that I want, I'm going to go over and click in the Select box, and then I'm going to click on Add Selected. It will then add that jurisdiction code to our list. So now I have 3 codes listed. This is where I can now start entering in my gross sales for each one of the jurisdiction codes. I will click in the box, type in the dollar amount with dollars and cents, no commas, no dollar signs. If I have merchandise that was consumed that I didn't pay tax on, I would put it in the merchandise consumed by you column. And then if I had any sales that I did not have to charge tax on, I would put that in the deductions column. And I would go down and I would enter the second line. Same thing, if I had merchandise consumed in that jurisdiction code, I would put it there. If I had any deductions, I would also list it on that line. Then I go down to the next one. And you'll see that it lists the tax rate over here to the right. Once I have all of my gross sales and my deductions entered in, I'm going to go ahead and click on Calculate. This will calculate my net sales and my net tax, and will end up giving me a page total for that net tax. If something is incorrect, I can click in the box and I can make the changes. If I need to delete a jurisdiction code, I can come over here to the right and I can click delete, and it will remove that jurisdiction code from the system. I'll go ahead and just delete one of these. So now I only have 2 jurisdiction codes left. If I needed to add it back in, I would click on Add Jurisdiction and look up the jurisdiction code one more time. Calculate is similar to your Save button. So if you have entered about 10 in, but you know you have a lot longer list, go ahead and hit that Calculate button so it saves the information that you've already entered, and then continue entering from there. We're going to go ahead and click Continue. This now takes us to part 2. This is the deduction screen. This is where we would break down the type of deductions that we had on part 3. In this case, I'm just going to use the sales to other retailers for resale. Once I get all of my deductions entered, I'm going to come down to the bottom and click on Calculate. And it will give me my total deductions on the bottom line. I'm going to go ahead and click Continue. Now it brings us to part 1. Line number 1 tells us our total tax. If you are a utility provider, this is where you would fill out the part 4 for your utility deductions. So on line number 2, you would click that link and start filling in the information there. Line 3 is your total tax again. Line 4 is for estimated filers. If you are a prepaid monthly filer, you would enter your estimated tax due for next month on line 4. If you are a prepaid monthly filer, you would enter the estimated tax paid from last month on line number 5. Line number 6, adjust your total there. Line number 7 is for a credit memo. So if you happen to have a credit on your account and you need to use it, you can enter in the dollar amount here. It will subtract it out from the tax due. And then line number 8 is a subtotal after all of that has been entered. Line 9 is for penalty if you have any penalty. Line 10 is for your interest. And then line 11 is total amount due. Once you've entered in any exceptions up here at the top, you'll go ahead and click on Calculate. it'll adjust the total and you'll see your correct total and total amount due. If something doesn't look correct and you need to make changes, you can hit the back button until you get to the screen that you need to make the changes on, do so, and move forward. We're going to go ahead and click continue. Now we're on the payment options screen. It's showing your total payment due. Right below that it says payment options. You've got ACH debit, which means that we will withdraw the money from your bank account. ACH credit, to complete this type of payment, you do have to contact your bank and they will send us the money. They will charge you a fee for this. Or check with voucher. If you choose check with voucher, once you have filed the return, you will have an option to print out a pre-filled voucher. We're going to go ahead and choose ACH debit. And now we have the ACH debit settlement options. Do I want it to come out on the due date, next business day, or other? Other would be anything in between the next business day or the due date. We're going to go ahead and choose due date. And then we're going to select the bank account that we want the payment to come from. If you already have banking information on file, you will see it listed as so here. If you need to add an additional bank account, you will click add a new bank account and you would enter the banking information below. We're going to go ahead and select use an existing bank account. Then you have to select the actual account that you're wanting to use. Once again, notice that you'll only see the last 4 digits of your bank account number. Then we're going to go to the bottom of the screen and we're going to click continue. Right now it's letting us review the information that we have just entered in. You'll see the tax account name, the number, the tax period end date. It shows the period begin date, the period end date, the return type, the payment type, shows us the tax, any deductions that we had, and all of the jurisdiction codes that we've listed. If something does not look correct, hit the back button and keep hitting the back button until you get to the page that you need to correct. This is correct, so we're going to go ahead and click Submit Return. And now the return has been filed. You will notice up here at the top that you will see that it has a confirmation number. It shows the electronic postmark date, and it shows me my payment type. Because I chose ACH debit, I can view the payment if I would like, which also shows the timestamp on it and the date that it's going to be withdrawn. If you need to view the return, you will click View Printable Return. And at the bottom of the screen, you will see that there is a print button. You can go ahead and print there. Once you've done printing, you can hit the back button, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and click Finish. Once you hit the Finish, you will see that it has taken you to your account history page. You will be able to see all of the payments and all of the filings. The filings would be any return that you have filed. Payments are either payments made individually or payments made with the return. You will see it listed in 2 separate places. Going to go ahead and click back. And then you go over to the left-hand side and you see business accounts. If you click on business accounts, this will take you to your home page. You have now successfully completed your sales tax return. You may now log out on the lower left-hand side. And you are finished.